All right, that is the maybe SJ pour beer. Maybe, I don't know. I need to make that decision. So yeah, still not gonna talk about it. It's me, Wally. Oh, this is really good. Really digging it. Body could be a little bit fuller on it. It's got a really nice body on it now. Just a little bit more body. That's just my personal preference. But anyway, it's Tuesday night. That means tomorrow is Homebrew Wednesday. Ow! Wednesday. It's 80 fucking degrees out in southern Ohio. And I got that dude running. Going bloop, bloop, bloop. So I brewed Sunday. So just kind of go over this real quick. The RO stand and system is 98% complete. Yeah, once I get these stainless steel bulkheads, I'll be done. Replace those and I'll get the band clamp on there. But I got all my routing done. So it's permanently routed. That's the way it's going to be. Quick disconnect on the waist, valved feed line, valved feed to the HLT. That all runs down to the cold water and to the valve, all that good stuff. Then it comes down. There's an elbow, and that's where the wastewater discharges. So yeah, it's pretty much it, guys. That's it, really. It worked flawlessly Sunday. So I had a little over 14 gallons in my HLT, 5 gallons in my boil kettle. Did it back to back. This thing's got this pump has a 5-minute cycle. Let's see, it's not supposed to cycle any longer than 5 minutes. But I think that's enclosed, and that's more of a heat issue. And since it's in the mid 60s down here, it's not enclosed. It just kept chugging and kept going, no problems. I didn't show you guys how I kind of did the old waterproofing. So you can see there is the fuse, right? And so everything, that is marine grade shrink wrap, and that's a 13 millimeter ID shrink wrap. That's a half inch thread on that fuse. So as it shrinks, it's got an adhesive on the inside, and it draws tight. So it's, for most part, it's watertight. It's not going to take water if the whole basement was flooded, but for what I need, it's more than adequate. So yeah, that's it, guys. Absolutely flawless. All right, let's sit. All right, here I am. So I rebrewed the nipple. My second place SJ pour beer. So that's why I brewed Sunday. This is 100% RO water this time. My water profile from brewing water was light and dry. So this should be very close to West Coast kind of IPA water profile. So yeah, I didn't take any video. I had a pretty rough beginning of all this. The probe for the boil kettle, I went ahead and I replaced it. Well, with the new probe, it was still flashing. It would say 6 degrees. It would flash at 61. It would flash to 59. So it kind of, and it would flash all the time. It would raise once the water was in it, but it would raise, but it would still fluctuate. So I went ahead and swapped that out. Then I started, back up, swapped it out, started heating up my water for my strike water, and I decided, let's just see what in the hell's going on. So I grabbed the cable off of the mash tun. I swapped them in the boil kettle, and I swapped it over here at the control panel. And lo and behold, a little red wire on that cable snapped off the connection at the end. So I had to get my soldering kit down here and resolder that. And it was, at that point, I was just aggravated. I didn't want to do anything other than brew, so I went ahead and proceeded, got that fixed, and proceeded. At that point, I had no issues at all. So then I'm done sparging. My numbers are great, hitting everything right where I want it. So I get my the boil kettle up to 200 degrees, because I always, when I'm cleaning, I'll bring it up I'll set the temperature to 200. It'll come to 200 and it'll hold it all day, right? I'm not going to boil. I'm not going to create a boil over. It's not an issue. I can get done when I want to get done. So I got everything done. It's at 200. I went ahead and kicked it up to 212. And lo and behold, I can't get the damn thing to switch in the manual mode. I can't do it. So I'm squirt, and turning the element off, squirting and turn the element off, turn it back on, turn it off, all that stuff. So I finally get past hot break, and I'm dicking around. I can't figure out what the hell I've done. Well, when I was heating up my strike water, it was a couple degrees colder than what it needed to be. So I figured while it went ahead and ramped up, I would go ahead and run an auto tune to see if that would take care of the flashing. So I did the auto tune. The auto tune took maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. No big deal. But I don't know what happened once I did the auto tune. So I went through the auto tune, and to set up the auto tune on these Auber PIDs, you change the AT function to either 0 or 1. 0 will do it after 10 seconds. 1 will do it as you hit a button and it'll go through it. So I went ahead and I did 0. It went through the process. But then if you cycle through the functions of that, there's an AM function. Well, somehow that AM function was set to 1, I think it was, and it should be on 0. Well, I called Brian from Short Circuited Brewers. I've got his personal cell phone number because I'm kind of a big deal like that. And as I was reading through the manual from Auburn, he was listening to me read, and he's like, "Hey, well, what about this?" And of course, I'm focused on the auto tune function of the. I said, "Well, the auto tune function set to 3. It should be set at 3. 1 or it's either 0, 1, or 3." And I've got it set on what I needed to do. Well, he's like, "Well, what about this?" He goes, then finally I listened to him, and it's exactly what he said. It was off. It was not the right setting. So I don't know if I had accidentally changed the setting on that, or once you auto tune, if it automatically, if there's default that it sets it back to once you're done with the auto tune. So I don't know. But anyway, everything's good. Everything's right in the world. And fuck, man, I hit my numbers exactly. 1066, right? That was 1066 with the refractometer and with the hydrometer. So yeah, the little pipette sample in some cold water, then try on the hydrometer, works like a champ. Fucking money. So it's money well spent. So yeah, I had the beginning of my day was rough. I besides the soldering job I had to do, I spilled probably 3 cups of, well, probably 2 cups of rice hulls all over the floor, and yeah. So I vacuumed all that up. But anyway, no, the day went absolutely beautiful. After that, once all my take out the hardships, and the day was simple. It was a great brew day. Volume, I got about 6 1/4 gallons in the fermenter at 1066. It's chugging away now. Probably Thursday time frame, I want to check it, and if it's 50% attenuated, I'm going to raise the temp up to 70. It'll finish out at 70. Do a diacetyl rest, all that stuff until I'm ready to drop it. And at that point, I'll just cold crush it. I will dry hop it and cold crush it at the same time. But yeah, pH is great. The initial pH reading after about 15 minutes was 5.28, which was a little bit under what Brewing Water said I should have had a 5.35. As I was running off into the kettle, pH was 5.4. So it did good. Can't complain. I was right in the ballpark, right where I needed to be. So yeah, we'll find out in about 3 weeks what she tastes like. Should be pretty good. I'm excited. Which brings me to Saturday. Now, if you guys aren't subbed to SJ Pour or Kevin Clement's Homebrew, SJ is going to try to organize an International Brew Day this Saturday. Friday's Good Friday, so a lot of us will have Friday off. And Sunday's obviously Easter, so he's not going to try to get everybody together to brew on Easter. But I think I'm going to try to brew. I've got some stuff coming for more beer. I've got some other stuff in the works. I don't know if I'm going to try to get that done. I may just try to throw together an English bitter. I've got some English ale yeast coming. So it's like basically, I think it's 1968. It's the White Labs. I think it's WLO2. I think it is. It's basically, I think it's 1968. I'd have to look at the order to be 100% sure. But I got a bunch of Pilsner, bunch of two-row. I might mix some two-row and some Pilsner to get a little bit of 40. Some white wheat and just kind of throw some hops in there, some low alpha stuff, and kind of throw together an English golden ale, maybe. Nothing too high ABV. Since I'm an IPA guy and I fucking brew IPAs all the time, I need to stop. Because I enjoy beers. I enjoy all craft beers. Sours, stouts. I love them all. But I'm in a rut where I brew IPAs. And I love IPAs. And I just want to brew more IPAs. But anyway. Alright, guys. I've rambled enough. So if you guys... Beaver Dog is going to have a live brew day Saturday. So if you guys know Chris, hey, pop in on Beaver Dog's... YouTube channel. Say hi. There's going to be a bunch of us hosting. I'm not going to host. I'm going to be brewing, and I'll just pop in. I think Nate's going to be from under the table. SJ, of course. Kevin Clements is going to be brewing. Probably Gary, main brew guy. There's going to be a shit ton of people doing it. So if you guys have time, brew. If you don't, pop in and say hi to everybody who's hosting. Yeah, hopefully I'll be down here probably fit chased and wondering what the fuck's going on with my beers. There's one thing, this pump that I use for the wort, for the beer side, for the hot side, not for the water. I think it's going out on me. I think it's about 7 years old, and I'm thinking I just put a new impeller on it about a year ago. And that thing, it's having a time pushing beer out, right? When I recirculate, it's the funniest thing is I push everything when I'm sparging. So I'll push the wort from the mash tun through this Y filter, right? The Y strainer. So all the particulate gets stuck down here. Everything goes through. Then it'll go really well for 10, 15, 20 minutes at the exact rate that I want. Then all of a sudden it just stops flowing. So I'll take and I'll just open the valve up a little bit more. It'll come through, settle down, then it'll stop again. So Sunday I just took this off completely, and there was not a whole lot in this. And I thought that's what it was. It was getting stuck. This is an outer filter, and it's got a smaller screen inside. Now I thought it's just got to be getting stuck. It's got to be filling that filter up, and it just won't do it. Well, lo and behold, it did it to me again. It's just like it's got too much head pressure on it, or it's too much to push it, which I don't understand why, because it's coming right from the mash tun to the inlet, through the outlet, through a hose, into the boil kettle. So I don't know. I don't want to buy a new pump. Don't want to do it. And if I do buy a new pump, I'd really love to buy a Riptide And the other reason I want to buy a Riptide is because you can take the head apart and clean it, and that's the only reason. The Mark II pumps are bucking nice, and they're less than $100, and that's with the stainless steel head. So I'm stuck. I'm just gonna probably ride this one out. I need to get an extra pump. I can get a chugger with a run dry system on it. I think those are 150, 170 bucks, something like that. I'm gonna have to do something before this one leaves me, which is not a big deal because the pump I use just for the HLT works flawlessly. It has absolutely no issue, so I can always run that pump. So basically, I would batch sparge and just go from that point. I can change my brewing the way I do it, but it wouldn't be something. It wouldn't handcuff me to the point where I can't produce anything. So anyway, I thought you guys thought I was done. Did I rambled on? See, I'm a fucking rambler. All right, guys. I finished my beer, and yeah. All right, guys. I will see you next week. Cheers.